The Princess of Swords represents the earthy part of air. She also represents the manifestation of heaven upon earth, which are almost two entirely contradictory ideas, which really sums up this card. She, according to Crowley, she partakes of the characteristics of Minerva and Artemis. Minerva is the goddess of the mind, actually, which is very much this idea of thinking and thoughts and ideas, while Artemis is the goddess of wisdom and knowledge and the hunt. She has this notion of the power of the gods and the influence of the gods on the world, which is a characteristic of all the princess cards, which is surprising because we think of it, in the elemental terms. Actually, it is the earthy part of the elements that are going on here. So, what is the Princess of Swords doing in this card? One thing you notice straight away is that behind her head is a swastika, which is a surprising thing to see, which is a solar symbol, of course, in ancient India, and still is today, by the way. You have to remember that at the time that this tarot deck was being produced, in the early 1940s in England, we were fighting the Nazis, whose symbol, of course, was the swastika. And so what is the swastika doing there? Well, clearly, it is an invocation of the gods to destroy the symbolism of the Nazis and all their works. So a very powerful indication of the magic that is at work within the tarot deck. So, my experience of this Princess of Swords is that she's a watcher, she's obsessed, she's waiting for something to happen. She's about to launch her power upon you, but she's just waiting for her moment. It's like a tiger crouching, something like this. She's intelligent, she's articulate, and she's logical as well, all the characteristics of the mind. And she has this kind of obsessive nature that's hard to deal with. If you look at the card of the Princess of Swords, it's the colours. There's a lot of black and grey. It's almost like a vision of William Blake and the Dark Satanic Mills, the blackness and the grey that's within there. Above her head is a swirl that goes around, which could well be an indication of a mobilisation of energy, of the flying energy forces. There's a spiral hair which goes around the swastika at the same time. In her hand she has a sword which is pointed downwards as an invocation into the ground. And on her head is a symbol of Medusa. Now you also notice on the card we have an altar. The altar's empty. And why is it empty? Because we forgot to put any propitiatory offerings to her. And that's the reason why she's angry. If you also look at the Princess of Discs, she too has an altar. But the altar is behind her. She has moved on. She's, the offerings are no longer concerned for her. But for the Princess of Swords, she's angry. We haven't looked after her. We haven't done the things that we would say. We haven't fed her or watered her or given her the attention that she clearly needs. So to deal with the Princess of Swords, make sure you find out what she wants and make sure you're actually doing something to help her.